coming down.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome to round 2 of the UK SimRacers MX5 Season 1 2023, and we are here at Rudskogen in Norway. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth this evening by the one and only Mr. Zach Sweeney, who had his first dose of the MX5s on the UK SimRacers last week. The circuit itself, well, is a bit of a different one. Not really known, opened in 1990. There was a new version in 2012, which is a full circuit version, which is what we're on now. 14 turns, 3.254 kilometers, 2.022 miles, and it's going to be a tricky one. We've got 22 cars currently on circuit this evening, and they are going to have an interesting time round turn 3 and 4. But I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's bring Mr. Sweeney into the booth. Good evening, Zach. How are you, sir?
Not doing too bad, James. Not doing too bad.
Awesome. Good. How are you? Are you good in general, though?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's Tuesday, isn't it? Do you know what that means? It means it's the UK SimRacers MX5, and I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait because the Red Bull Ring, honestly, that was some of the best racing I think I've ever seen. And between all 4 races, we had obviously Pete Van Gool take 2 wins, and while other people taking the other 2, it was just it was so good. And now we take to a very different beast in the form of Rudskogen, James.
Yeah, we do. It's a difficult one because obviously I've been here before in commentary. Zach's first time, so we are giving Zach the first time dose of Rudskogen. Current track times are 1:32.93. One of the tricky corners is going to be this turn 3 and 4, as we go on board with Pete Van Gool, who is coming into the turn as we speak. Now, the reason it's going to be tricky, downhill, braking, having to turn at the same time to try and keep that car. They're going to try and bring it down, and that's one of the fears, is going out over the Y line. As soon as you go out over that Y line, it's a slowdown. It's a half a second slowdown straight away, and you'll pick another one up here if you run too much over these curbs at the same time. So they've got some tricky manoeuvres this evening. Turn 3 and 4 going to be one of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, just before the broadcast, I mean, I sort of compared it to what we saw see at Aqua Minerale at Imola. And, you know, it's the same concept. A little bit longer, obviously, but it's that thing. You're turning right. You're going in there flat out. You're having to brake. You're having to turn. You're having to, you know, manipulate the brakes as well. Pete Van Gool gets through turn 3 and 4 just fine. And then what comes into the final couple and gives us a few donuts, maybe celebrating a little bit early. He knows that he's going to do well tonight, I'm sure. But, yeah, I mean, you've got to balance the weight of the car with your left and right foot. I mean, you know, you've got to obviously manipulate the ballast with dipping it forward if you want to tap on the brakes, dipping it backwards if you just blip the throttle a little bit, and just using that to your best advantage. But for sure, it's going to be a very, very difficult one in of itself. And, well, I mean, it's only been one round, but I mean, it's looking quite close in the standings. It just goes to show that across the 4 races, it's quite competitive. Yeah,
we've got PVG in top on 150, Ewan Bramer on 148, John Sylvester 146, Daniel Hunt on 145, Miles Owens 142, Tom Griffith on 133, Jamie Ayres 132, Carl Jacklett 125, Steve Evan 105, Elise Main 93 with Charles Kellerman there tied, Ralph Cullinan on 82, and Roy Vivek and Darren McLean have not got points on the board. In the AMS, it's Andy Littler leading the way on 99, Darryl Wright on 77, Arnold Chagnonier 66, Anthony Jacobson 64. Thank you. And Mick Barry on 60, Jason Huntington on 59, Steve Hansford 42, and Jordan Sirrett on 40. And Alan Toon is back this week as well. So Sir Alan Toon is back on the grid. So we will see Sir Alan here as well. Now, what we are going to do is bring you up the team championships. As you can see, Platinum Racing Team, we said it was going to be tough. They gave them a run, and they've taken the lead in the championship after the end of round 1. I know it's round 1, but Momo have been dominating 1.8 in the last 4 seasons, so it's good to see the competition. Platinum on 4.36, Momo 3.87, Optical Red 2.18, Results Clothing 2.06, DOF Reality 1.45, Optical Green on 1.35, Air Smart Racing 1.25, and Work Guard by Result on 99. We did say that after race 1 though, didn't they? Because Momo didn't get it all their own way in race 1, and Platinum laid down a big old stamp on them at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were talking about it in the sense that it really was the battle between Platinum and obviously Momo as well. I mean, at some points there were, you know, Platinum, Momo, 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. It really was a battle of the Titans. And, well, the bigger they are, the harder they've fallen in round 1. That certainly was the case of Momo in relative, obviously, to Platinum Racing Team. I mean, they're still second in the championship, which isn't a bad feat at all. But compared to their recent successes, as you say, over the recent seasons, you know, they've been doing quite well. So I'm sure as a team of their success, they know how to sort of come back from slumps like this, are able to then work their way back towards the front. I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure it's going to be a close season. But yeah, a breath of fresh air, a new competitor on the scene, and you know, we all have an underdog story, and maybe the Platinums, you know, it's someone else's turn maybe to take the reins at the top of the constructors. Yeah,
as we see Sir Alan Toon by Work Guard by Result just spinning off there. Now, Alan, he did say he will be at the back, but as per normal, I don't think he cares. Just the fact that he's on track this season has been incredible. He missed the whole entire winter season. He fell over, did himself an injury, and had to have an operation, and went through the whole rigmarole of getting himself back into his shape. So he is back on track. It's great to see here as well with Alan Toon. Is an amazing guy and such a lovely man, incredible individual. So we are going to be waiting and seeing the times coming through very shortly on the stand and on the timing tower on the left hand side, as we see Martin Sampson get turn 3 and 4 wrong, which is, don't think he's going to be the only one, to be fair, into that corner, Zach. I think
yeah, I mean, you know, chances are we're going to see a lot of people go wide. Fortunately for them, it is qualifying, so, you know, you can refresh, you can go again, as not very wide there through the following sequence of corners. Whether that's intentional or not, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be the better line through. But yeah, again, fortunately for them, it's qualifying, so only the 1 lap counts as, you know, your 1 shootout. You've got to hook up the perfect lap, so it doesn't matter too much if you mess up 1 or mess up 2 or whatever, as long as you put in a good lap. What is going to matter, though, is turn 3 and 4 throughout the 4 races here tonight, which is really, I think, going to be sort of the separator between the good and the great. Sure, you can put it on pole, and oh, there we go, that's going to cause a bit of a kerfuffle. It's a short track as well, James, and we've got, what is it, about 22 drivers taken to the circuit today, which, you know, obviously is going to spell a bit of carnage and chaos in terms of qualifying. So there's a lot of difficulties when it comes to this circuit. Obviously, as I say, turn 3 and 4, separating the good and the great and those that are going to be most consistent. But also now in qualifying, actually putting that lap down might be difficult because you put a lot of trust in that car in front.
Yeah, well, we can go on board with Ewan Bramer here. He's got to brake, then he's got to turn it in left and then get the car slowed down for a right-hander on that run. He can start getting onto the gas a little bit. There we go. Start applying it, son. And on this run down into turn 3 and 4, it is a very tricky corner. Downhill braking. It just wants to pull you to the left-hand side, but as soon as you hit that line on the outside and go beyond it, it is a slowdown. It's a horrible corner for slowdowns. As soon as you go out on the right and on the left-hand side there, you are done. But Ewan Bramer gets through it nice and confidently as he's now coming through the S's section of 5, 6. And then he's got the double left-hander of 7 and 8. Can't really see the apex of 8 until you're already halfway through 7. And then he's got the run out round at 9, which is obviously just this little kink here before he goes down into what is technically a hairpin of 10. This goes on the brakes. He's going to go down the gear. Round he goes. Start getting on the gas now, letting the car drift a little bit wide, take a little bit of curb on the exit before you go on the run for 11 and 12. Again, turn 12 is a little bit tricky. You can't really see the apex again until quite late on. And then you go on the run at round 13. You can see this quite early. Now this one, round 14. Long looping right-hander, waiting ages to get on the gas as Ewan Bramer does, and away he goes, currently sitting on pole on a 134 here as well. 492, saying that Martin Sampson's just gone quicker, Tom Griffiths has just gone quicker as well. Bramer goes to the back on a 133.732. Sylvester decides he's going to do a 133.718. So yeah, swapping play. The pole changed about 4 times within about 2 seconds then.
Yeah, you sounded like an auctioneer for a second. Oh, he's gone quicker. No, he's gone quicker. No, he's gone quicker. It's great. That's exactly what we want in terms of close competition. I mean, it's a little bit longer in terms of a lap time as well. Moving up a couple of positions. Jamie Ayres up into 3rd place, but looking at as how close it is, the gap between the top 5, just over 3.5 tenths of a second. So it is all about just hooking up the lap time. And obviously, there's a number of very tricky corners around here, James, and oftentimes, the MX5s do struggle a little bit to extract the full pace. But you've got the long corners, the undulating corners, the sweeping corners. You've got a lot here at Rudskogen, which obviously means that there's plenty of opportunities to just commit that little bit more, break that a little bit later, get on the power that little bit earlier, and make that time up. So yeah, there's definitely going to be no shortage of time gains. And well, as we enter into sort of the back end of qualifying, I think that's really where crunch time is going to be. People are going to have to really ramp it up and try and extract just those extra couple of hundredths of a second of lap time out of the car. But again, like we were saying earlier, an element of luck comes into it, because it doesn't matter if you're John Sylvester, even Bremer, Jamie Ayres, if you're on a double purple lap through the first 2 sectors and you get caught up behind some traffic into the final sector of your run, that can completely abort your lap. So it is just all about maximizing your opportunities, and in some cases hoping that you get a clean lap in.
He did it. Bremer did it. 1:33.563. He tucked up behind one of the optical greens for the last 2 corners, dragged himself round. Saying that, as I say that, Daniel Hunt's got into pole on a 1:33.209. PVG in 1:33.455, and Bremer goes down to 3rd place. So that lasted long. Again.
Yeah. Brilliant. I mean, Bremer's like, oh, brilliant. Oh, look at that. I've just got on pole. No, fantastic.
3 seconds later, he's off. So
it's that up and down. He's it's just like, oh my god, that was a perfect lap. 2 tenths up on my best. Brilliant. I'm on pole position. Surely that's going to last. And then Daniel Hunt, Pete Van Goor's like, yeah, nah, mate, jog on. Sorry about that. So I mean, it's great. It means that Bremer's got to be on his top game. And well, I mean, it's a swing of only a few tenths of a second, which around here, it's probably a circuit these people. Definitely not one that I've really seen too often. It's a circuit that not many people really have probably driven in competition spec, a hell of a lot, because you don't often see it at the top flight of sim racing. So it might just be a case of acclimatizing yourself to the circuit and building up the confidence lap by lap, and then being able to sort of catapult yourself to the front of the field. But as it stands, Daniel Hunt is setting the benchmark, and in all fairness, James, this is probably the longest a pole's been held for the entirety of this qualifying session.
The problem is they're all coming round again here, starting with Martin Sampson is going to be the leader. So I'm expecting it to swap at least once or twice here. Depends if anybody's really going quicker. And at the moment, John Sylvester's got green, Miles Owen's got green. There's Tom Griffith, he's in there in 6th place currently. Jamie Ayres as well. They've all gone across the line. No real improvement so far. So nobody really got a decent run then. At least Maine is probably the closest to having a good old run with 2 greens, and goes another green for Maine. Shoots herself up into 9th place. So stunning job from her. Mick Barry is another one. He goes up into 17th. What about Sir Alan Toon? How is he getting on? Yeah, Mr. Toon is back on track. Good evening, Phil. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Phil there, regular viewer in the YouTube chat.
Does he ever miss a stream?
No,
I've seen him in everything.
No, some of the later ones Phil can't make it, but generally he'll be there or thereabouts. If not, he'll watch it the following day.
He needs a T-shirt or something. He needs a JPB T-shirt. He's got to have something for supporting.
What, JPB supporters T-shirt?
Yeah, 100%.
I'll have to design one.
100%. Send it out to Phil. You can be the guinea pig in terms of the JPB match. I mean, it's great. He's always in there.
You make him sound like a rodent.
No, not that. I'm sure his teeth are in tip-top shape. If he's from the UK, probably not. But he's fine. Phil, I'm sure you're a gorgeous fella. And we'd love to
as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
Phil. I'm so
don't
deeply sorry.
No, to be fair, he took the mick out of me at Red Bull Ring. I've got to fire back, James. I can't let it stand.
Yeah, no, I feel you, mate. I feel you. Callum Milam, holla, son. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Yeah, don't forget we have got the BSC NASCAR from Indianapolis coming up at 11:55 p.m. this evening. That is going to be exciting as well with the BSC cars around Indianapolis. Cannot wait for that. 75 laps of utter madness around an iconic circuit. So if you are still awake, come along and join us on that one as well. So that's going to be absolutely amazing. Coming towards the end of quali, nobody's really improving within the last 4 laps. Let's have a look at Carl Jacqueline from the Optical Red team, currently down in 11th place. What's at least main? They've changed their livery this week, haven't they, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh, wait, it's still the same, isn't it? Black, white, and...
I thought it was just all red.
Was it? No, there was a team that had that.
Oh.
I don't think it was these guys.
Oh.
I think these guys had the same.
Must be losing me marbles.
Mate, I don't know what I had for dinner last night. Don't be testing me that.
I know.
A week's too long.
Mate, don't. I had curry. No, I didn't. I had chili tonight.
Oh, nice. I had chicken strips and wedges. It's nice. Yeah, lovely. Awesome stuff.
Love a good chicken strips and wedges.
Oh, honestly, chicken strips are just banging. They're great.
Chicken strip wedges and some beans on the side just to dip them in.
Do you know what? You're going to hate me for this. I don't really like baked beans.
All right. Spaghetti hoops.
Oh, yeah, they're all right. They're all right, yeah.
Do you not eat things like that?
I don't know. I'm a bit basic. I don't know. Just honestly, give me chicken, rice, chicken and pasta, chicken anything. I'll be fine. Obviously, seasoned chicken. I'm not a psychopath. I won't just have plain chicken. But honestly, I could have chicken with anything. But yeah, spaghetti hoops, beans is whatever. I'll have it if I need to. But it's not that big of a deal.
So basically, when Mum says you've got to eat your dinner, and you're like, what is it? It's chicken strips, chips and beans. You ain't got no choice.
Yeah, but no, and then I'll just be like, I'm not hungry, Mum. And then because James is very lovely. I'll just go on Just Eat and I'll use the money that he's invoiced me for the last couple of rounds. I'll be like, yeah, cool, get myself a cheeky Mackey's. You know what I mean? So
you're lucky you're in a place where you got Just Eat, mate.
Exactly. Do you not get it,
mate? I live out in the middle of nowhere. I told you I've got more sheep than I have human beings. We don't get Just Eat. I got a McDonald's down the end of my street. That was the biggest thing that happened in this town for ages. Was McDonald's built? They put a McDonald's on the services. So so because they put a McDonald's there, that was it. Everybody was like raiding McDonald's. The first few days, couldn't get in there. It was just traffic after traffic after traffic. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was insane. But that was about as exciting as how my lovely little town gets out in the middle of Somerset. So don't have Just Eat.
You poor thing. I've got 3 McDonald's all within about a 10-minute walk of me.
All right. Okay.
I'm loving it.
You can mute people, you know.
Can you?
No. Go off, people. Generally, the only thing we don't have down here, and this is unusual considering, we don't have a good Chinese.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, mate, you are missing out. You need to move. You need to come to... I'd say come to Norfolk, but do not come to Norfolk, mate.
No,
but yeah.
We don't have a good Chinese. We were talking, my son's just turning 18 and we're talking about taking him out. And he was like, can we have Chinese? I was like, mate, no, because we ain't got a decent one. So, so we've got to go all the way to Bristol for our nearest sort of, relative big town to decent eat. You know what I mean? So there we go.
It's not great.
No, it's not.
It's not. But anyway, yeah, qualifying's coming to an end, and people are sort of rounding off their laps, and a couple of people in the pit lane. Pete Van Gaal in the pit lane, Jamie Ayres in the pit lane. That means they're not going to be able to get another lap in, which means all the pressure is on. I think for Ivan Bramer is out on circuit, is he? And I don't think he's actually got enough time to go for another lap. I think this is it, and I think Daniel Hunt's been able to hang on to it right at the end. Yeah,
I wonder if Andy Littler's aware he's got nothing on the front of that car.
I don't know. I mean, you can't really see it from the cockpit, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering. He's got no bumper. Look, it's literally just...
Well, the engine will be cold. I mean, at least there's that.
Producing airflow, I suppose. That is a good one. We've got 29 seconds here remaining. Ralph Cullen, I haven't really spoke about Ralph during qualifying. Currently sitting down in 16th. Seems to be struggling a little bit round his circuit. Of course, he didn't come into the interview room after his last week where he went in reverse off the starting line. He didn't come and talk to me about it. We're a little bit unhappy, so I'm going to try and grab him this week and pull him in and talk to him about his reversal on the grid last week. When he's got something to say, does Ralph, he does come into the booth. When he hasn't got anything to say, he sort of sits back and hides, and he made a mistake and now he sat back and hid. But here is the grid. Daniel Hunt in first, Pete Van Gaal in second, Ewan Bramer third, Tom Griffith fourth, John Sylvester fifth, Jamie Ayres sixth, Martin Sampson seventh, Charles Kellerman eighth, Elise Main ninth, Miles Owens is in 10th place. Carl Jacklett in 11th. Darryl Wright leading the AMs off in 12th there. Steve Hefford mixing it up in 13th. Jason Haddington 14th. Anthony Jacobson 15th. Ralph Cullen 16th. 17th Sean Yonye. 18th Vic Barry. 19th Steve Hansford. 20th Sir Alan Toon. 21st is Jordan Surratt. And 22nd is Andy Littler. So that rounds off the grid. Sorry, I'm not interested, Zach, and you would need to contact a marquee manufacturer for the T-shirt.
I'll have my own one then. You know what? I'll have Phil's if they're going.
Yeah. Welcome in, Puck, PVG's brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Right. Just waiting for a few more to jump on the line, on the grid, ready to go. So stay tuned. Let's see what happens in this 15-minute race one. It's going to be manic. We have got to change sessions after race 2, so bear with us. There will be a brief little warm-up between race 1 and race 2. And then we're going to be going into session changes for 3 and 4. Let's see how this one pans out. Steve Hansford is the only one not on the grid currently on there, as we wait patiently for the lights. He's got about 20 seconds. Get himself moving. Somebody getting excited with the accelerator pedal. I wonder if he's going to make this. 10 seconds to go. Steve is due basically in that gap on the right hand side between them two cars. Not here at the moment. Nope, didn't make it. So here we go. Daniel Hunt is in first place on the grid. Lights out, 4, 5. And it's green, green, green here tonight from Rudskogen in Norway. Daniel Hunt gets away first. Pete Van Gool in second. Ewan Bramer third. Tom Griffiths in fourth. Jamie Ayres coming up into fifth there as well. But everybody at the moment seems to have made it through. A bit of incidents at the back with Carl Jacklett. But everybody, apart from them guys, have been tidily through, Zach.
Yeah, indeed. So far, relatively clean start. Bit of contact here and there, of course, naturally. But now this is really what's going to matter. This first run in towards turn 3 and 4 on cold tyres, of course. Trying to have a bit of luck potentially is Tom Griffiths. Of course, he's a new driver into the new season of the UkSimracers MX5. And he really is impressing so far in the season. But as they round off the first half of lap number 1, it is still Daniel Hunt from PVG, Ivan Bramer and Tom Griffiths. Jamie Ayres, your top 5. And, well, they are very, very close indeed. This could be a very, very long fight between all of them. It's probably the longest 15 minutes I think they're ever going to get. There's a bit of side-by-side action here. This is Owens versus Main, and well, this is for the fringes of the top 10, and well, Main is fighting back.
Yeah, don't forget we've got a top 16 reverse with Elise Main there on the left-hand side. So whoever is currently in 16th, which is Anthony Jacobson, spinner there from the optical blue, that's Martin Sampson. Or Martin Sampson in the optical red team now, just hasn't changed his livery, but Martin Sampson there has gone round and unfortunately dropped down to the base of the order. That was all the way in to turn 10, but Miles Owens still mixing it up with Elise Main up front. Daniel Hunt, PVG, Ewan Bramer and Tom Griffith are opening up a bit of a gap with Sylvester as well. That top 6 pack, Zach, seems to have opened up 2.5 seconds over the next lot.
Yeah, they're going to be loving that. Gives them a bit more of a margin to play with in the sort of the coming moments. I mean, they're more willing to fight there as well, running their way through turns 1 and 2 once more. Daniel Hunt keeping Pete Van Gool at bay, of course. Pete Van Gool leading the championship. 2 wins last time out at the Red Bull Ring. He's trying to make that 3 over the course of this season, but quite close enough really to spark anything. And I think really, in all fairness, this early on, 6 cars fighting for the lead. If you're going to go for moves, they don't really mean that much. And well, maybe they just want to try and break the gap away from Charles Kellerman and give themselves the biggest margin possible so that they can give it an all-out brawl come the sort of the final moments of this race. However, those in behind aren't really getting the memo. And well, there's Jamie Ayres and John Sylvester, I think, fighting over 5th.
Yeah, they're battling all the way through this front 6, to be fair. The Main, Jacklett, Owens, Barry, Channonier, Wright, and the next pack. You can see it there. Kellerman is literally going to be, if he manages to drop Steve Hefford, which I don't think he's going to be able to, I think he's going to be driving around very solely at the moment. But then here comes the next lot with Main, Jacklett, and Owens, and then Channonier behind them as well. But it is this front pack currently led by Daniel Hunt. Then we've got 6 temps back for PVG, Ewan Bramer, Tom Griffith, Jamie Ayres and John Sylvester at the back of the pack. Is whether or or not Hefford's got to be able to get clear past Kellerman at the moment. He's 7/10 back to join onto the back of this pack. But as you can see there, John Sylvester is very close to being dropped off here. He's got to try and lock in behind him and try and get towed along as they go round. Now, there as well, 1:34.084 from Daniel Hunt. So not really making great strides forward, but Charles Kellerman's losing time trying to close them down there as well.
Yeah, I think Daniel Hunt is setting the pace really well, and everyone in behind, similar to sort of cycling and things, the leader sets the pace and everyone in behind just sort of goes at that pace. And while that's allowing the top six to break away from Charles Kellerman, who are consistently lapping, even if it's just a margin of a couple of tenths or so quicker than Charles Kellerman, it is going to build the gap, particularly if Steve Hefford puts a bit of pressure on the 67 machine. A bit of a twitch there off the exit that could actually invite him looking to the outside under a bit of pressure. And there we go, running their way through the S's now in towards the quick flick to the left. There we go. Sylvester trying to get himself into the mix as well. Inside line versus Jamie Ayres. Worked his way through and all that sideways, and that has brought him out of contention for this top six fight.
Yeah, he's just dropped down. Jamie Ayres got mixed up with Tom Griffith and John Sylvester. There was really no way through. I'm surprised anybody didn't come a slowdown for that one, because Jamie was very wide out on the right-hand side of turn 7 there, 6 and 7. So I'm surprised he hasn't copped a slowdown for that one. Miles Owens is got in front of him currently Carl Jacquelet from the Optical Red team. So there is Owens and Jacquelet. Of course, Owens Platinum Racing, Jacquelet Optical Red. Main is in front. Oh, Ralph Cullinan. Is that not Ralph Cullinan? It's
No,
the next one.
Jacobson.
And Jacobson.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, that was dodgy. That was almost Alan Toon going straight into the back of him. He was lucky to obviously avoid him. Was Toon there pulling to the left-hand side off the circuit, right-hand side of shot, of course. And Jacobson a bit too eager to get back onto the circuit. Potentially an easy spin to make. And well, in all fairness, it's a difficult circuit. The ups and downs, the roller coaster nature, the tricky corners. Spins are bound to happen, but unfortunately for him, that has brought him all the way back down to P17. And not only that, James, it's brought him out of that reverse grid contention.
Yeah, he's got to move up one place to Alan Toon for the top 16. Currently, Tooney is on pole position. And it'll be amazing, because I know what he generally does. Good evening, by the way, SRL TV. Thank you so much for joining us. Normally, when Alan Toon's on pole, whenever I've watched it before in the reverse, he moves over and lets everybody through. So, it doesn't really go full bore at it, but I have instructed him this year. I want to see him fight for the front grid. He's got to fight from the front. So hopefully he's going to give it a good old go here with Alan Toon, with Martin Sampson and Jacobson. Sampson's trying to go around the outside of him currently. Come on, Alan, put up some muscles. Rolls over and gets his belly tickled again. Never mind. Daniel Hunt, PVG up front currently at the moment. Bramer, Griffith, Sylvester. They're just, I suppose, technically it's more of a top 3 than it is the top 5 anymore.
Yeah, a little bit of a breakaway. I mean, Griffith, Sylvester, they're there, and any battle will definitely bring them back into contention. But the main focus, the closest 3, are the front 3. Daniel Hunt is doing a good job of hanging on to that lead, in all fairness. But, of course, PVG is probably one of the last people on this field you'd want to see breathing down your neck and, well, right up in your business, running through turn number 2. Then the run, bit of a straight line towards turn 3 and 4. Not really any way through, and he's not actually got the best of run. So lap after lap, it seems that Pete Van Gool is not quite able to close the gap. I think, in all fairness, maybe he's waiting for Daniel Hunt to make a mistake, run a little bit wide going into turn 4. That could invite the Momo car to maybe have a bit of a look to the inside. But right now, look at him. He's so close to the rear end, but unfortunately, there's just no way through.
Ooh. It's just kind of sitting there, isn't it? This tricky section is really not an overtaking option unless you send it up the inside, like we've seen some people coming off there from turn 7 and 8, and then maybe this run down on the inside of turn 10. But it is really what mindset PVG is up to, is whether or not, he just as you say, he's going to sit there and wait and wait and wait before he makes the move, or he needs to get it done. And I'm wondering whether or not getting it done is bringing this pack back up together, because you can see them all again literally round about a second and a half apart at the moment, and it's not going to take long for them to come back together again.
Depends how much pace Pete Van Gool has in his pocket, though. Like, is it a case of if he gets through, he's going to drive away with it, or is it going to be a case of he gets through, Daniel Hunt sits back in a slipstream and fights back? Again, it depends, but for sure, the more Daniel Hunt's looking over his shoulder, trying to see where Pete Van Gool is, the more he's slowing himself down, the more he's bringing himself back into the sort of the pack of wolves that is Ivan Bramer, Tom Griffiths, and John Sylvester just in behind. So yeah, for sure, the longer this battle goes on, the more people that are going to be in contention. Is what's a very tight line going through turn 2 for Pete Van Gool. Bit of a twitch actually there from the race leader Daniel Hunt that might force him to go defense. No, actually no, he's fine. He's perfectly fine. Ball's out just in the front of Pete Van Gool. Looked like he had a bit of a twitch there, but what more can Van Gool do? Like, he's driving perfectly. He's hitting his marks. He's ducking and diving, trying to put a bit of pressure on. There just doesn't seem to be any way through at the moment. Daniel Hunt, he's got all the answers.
Yeah, I'm just worried by this situation that these 5 are going to come back together. It's going to provide great racing at the end here. Miles Owens fighting away with Carl Jacklett still, and then Steve Hefford in front there as well from the third of Momo car, of course, on track. But it is Miles Owens and basically Carl Jacklett fighting away. And these are another guys that don't seem to be able to make that movement forward, do they? They've been kind of stuck behind each other again and no real way through. Is that kind of what we're expecting from this circuit tonight, where we get great racing but it's very single file and nobody can really make the moves through?
I think so. I mean, there's not really many places to actually make the move, as we're seeing here with Owens not really able to find a way through on Carl Jacklett, of course. And yeah, I think it is just a case of, you know, the longest straight on the circuit is... Oh, no! That's one way to get through, I suppose, but obviously not the best way. And Miles Owens, unfortunately, has sent Carl Jacklett spinning. Is he going to be able to rejoin and stay in that top 16 contention? I think so. So maybe, you know, it's not all bad. Obviously, suboptimal for them. And now, at least Maine's knocking on the door. Maybe she's going to try and have a bit of a look. And, well, again, it's going to be a fairly easy move, but... yeah, again, it's one that's been fabricated from outside sources. It's not purely in a 1v1 fight being able to find a way through. I think it is a very difficult circuit to overtake.
Well, we're finding out with these front pack, aren't we? They've not really made any gains on each other, apart from bringing each other in and dropping each other off and then bringing each other back up. We're back up into this 4-way, possibly. Where's John Sylvester there as well? Van Gool's just gone through. Mistake from Daniel Hunt, he's gone through. Is he going to leave the door open now for Iwan Bramer to be looking at making a move through as well? He's not this time around, but he did lose that position to PVG, and PVG has gone through into the lead. And I suppose from that point of view, Zach, we'll see what PVG's got now.
Yeah, for sure. Now the pressure is on him. Pete Van Gool, he's been knocking on the door. He's like, no, let me through. I'm quicker. I deserve to lead this race. Now he's got to show it. Now he's got to say, you know what? I can lead this. I can keep myself composed. I can control this race. Look back a week ago to the Red Bull Ring. The race that he won, he was very much in control of, winning by, 5-6 seconds apiece over the rest of the field. Now he's got a bit of a job on his hand. Bit of a kerfuffle just in behind of this fight. Allows the top 2 to break away just to about a second ahead of Tom Griffiths, of course. But Daniel Hunt is going to want that lead back. But with how difficult it is to overtake, it's going to come down to a mistake. And if PVG can just keep it nice and clean for the rest of this race, he's looking pretty neat and tidy for it. But Daniel Hunt, that is definitely a very, very costly mistake. As we were just saying, it takes a mistake to fabricate a move around Rudskogen. And that is exactly what allowed Van Gool through. Now it's just a case of don't mess up.
The interesting thing about that is if we look through this top 5, Iwan Bramer has been all the way in third constantly. He's just gone through, literally, I think it was turn 3, 4, through the kinks of 5 and 6, and he manages to lose 2 places, one to Tom Griffith and one to John Sylvester. So we'll see if we can catch that before these guys go into the final part. I just want to see what... Oh, no! Go back. PVG has gone wide. He got loose there and he's lost the position. Oh, no. What did we say? Don't mess up.
Don't mess up. And what did he do? He messed up.
Yeah.
He did mess up. That was a big mistake there from Pete Van Gool. And while Daniel Hunt's cost him 1 place, that mistake, PVG's has cost him, what, from 1st to 4th. That is a huge mistake. And now he's not got that long to actually claw it back. Really not long left in race number 1. And while Daniel Hunt back into control, Tom Griffiths promoted to P2. And I think it really is just going to be a race of attrition. If you don't make a mistake, you can claw your way up the field, like we've seen with Tom Griffiths and like we've seen with John Sylvester. They've just been there. They've been putting the pace in. They've been perfect. And, well, now they find themselves contesting for the race win.
Yeah, I think that was one of the interesting things we saw last week, wasn't it? With the first place there, Kyle Jacklett spun out, Ewan Bramer was in first and spun out, Mick Barry was in first and spun out as well. And that was all within the space of sort of a lap of each other. Pete Van Gool has just cleared Ewan Bramer there, so Ewan go down again, down into 5th place now. Jamie Ayres slowly closing the gap. Not too far there as well. He's not going to be able to make it. I think it's about 1.8. Maybe 2.4 seconds back, so I don't know if he's going to be able to get on, but it's whether or not Sylvester, who is at the back of this pack, which was a 6 including Jamie Ayres until we saw obviously in the incident with Ayres there, and he's now sitting in 3rd. Could he cheekily take the win, you think?
Any of them could. In all fairness, again, it's just going to come down to who blinks when and who makes that mistake. If you can keep it clean, mistakes like that, though, are definitely not going to help and allow the top 2 to break away. Might actually turn itself from, well, what was 6 cars all the way down to now 2 cars in the final stages. On the penultimate lap, of course, of race number 1, we still have 3 races beyond this. So the action definitely isn't over at the checkered flag, but it's a good stepping stone into the rest of the races. It's been very, very close between the top 6. And, well, now I think it is going to come down to Daniel Hunt versus Tom Griffiths. The pressure is on, though, because the rest of them, they're not a million miles away. They're quite close still. But you still have a bit of a margin. Again, though, any moves made here or there could bring the rest back into the limelight, could bring things back into contention. So Daniel Hunt's got to watch out for himself. And Griffiths, if he wants to win this race, he's got to be clever about it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where clever means on this track. I've got to be honest. It's almost like he's got to set him up round 3 and 4 and try and get him on through the S's of 5, 6 and 7 and maybe finish the move coming out of 8. I'm not entirely sure where he's going to be able to set him up. But normally we can position the car in front where you want him to be at a specific moment on track. But it's like there, he's pulled out 3 times and Daniel Hunt's not even moved 1 iota. He didn't even think about coming out to say, well, I'm going to try and block you off. He didn't. He just carried on, got around his business. And as you say, we're coming through 5, 6 and 7 now. Unless Hunt makes a drastic mistake, I can't see him losing this race.
I think it says a lot about Daniel Hunt as a driver and sort of the bulletproofness, and it's a great quality to have, is not letting the driver behind. It's like a game of poker. You can't let them bluff you. You've got to be on it. You've got to say, no, you know what? You're not actually going for that move. You're just trying to trick me. And that's exactly what Hunt's doing. He knows exactly what Griffiths is doing. He's trying to get inside Hunt's head, and it's not working. Hunt has been completely amazing in this race so far. Maybe a last-ditch effort into the final couple of corners, but that's not quite going to work. And now, well, they've got the quick left, then the long right, then the run to the line. It's Hunt's to lose for sure. And apart from that one mistake, he's been flawless.
Yeah, absolutely. And that one mistake cost him 1 position, of course, where unfortunately for PVG, it's cost him 4. He was all the way down. He went down in 5th. He's managed to pass. Ewan Bramer is now back up into 4th place. But it is Daniel Hunt is going to take the victory here this evening with Ewan Bramer and Pete Van Gool. PVG are getting across the line here. What's happening with Martin Sampson? He's battling away here. I believe that is the orange of Jason Haddington from Air Smart Racing. It is. Looks like possibly Haddington. Hunt has just passed Ralph Cullinan behind and is now on the back of Haddington as they come running down into the line as well. This is about 13th, 14th and 15th, but I got a funny feeling it is going to be Jason Haddington's going to take this one with Ralph Cullinan and behind him there as well, behind Martin Sampson. So not bad at all. Anthony Jacobson with Jordan Sirrett right behind him, tucked up nose to tail. As they come across the line there as well. And here comes Alan Toon and Andy Littler battling away to the end as they're coming around turn 12 and 13. As you say, Hunt was generally flawless in that. He led from start to finish, didn't really put a foot wrong. One little tiny mistake, dropped and lost a position. PVG made a bigger one, and now he's obviously down, come out for the win. He was literally on it every single time.
Yeah, for sure. And it's brilliant as well. That's very picturesque, side by side on the run to the line. Toon versus Littler goes the way, of course, of Sir Alan Toon. But yeah, Hunt was amazing that race. I mean, yes, you can fault him for losing the lead to PVG, but straight away got it back thanks to Pete Van Gool maybe getting, I don't know what it was. Must have just been a little bit of a mistake, complacency, whatever it was, pressure, who knows. But it did go the way of Daniel Hunt in the end. And, well, in all fairness, for a race that we didn't see many overtakes, it was a very close one.
Yeah, Daniel Hunt is in first, Tom Griffiths in second, John Sylvester third, Pete Van Gool fourth, Ewan Bramer fifth, Jamie Ayres sixth, Charles Kellerman seventh, Steve Hefford down in eighth. We've got Steve in the waiting room. I'm going to ask him about that. It looks like he might be struggling. Along with Miles Owens, Arnold Chandelier, Elise Main, Darryl Wright, Jason Addington, Martin Sampson, Rav Cullen, Carl Jacklett, Anthony Jacobson and Jordan Sirrett there as well. So on that, so Alan Toon, Andy Littler, Mick Barry and Steve Hansford. Let's bring Mr. Steve Hefford in to the booth. The man that finished 8th place in race 1. Steve, you finding it tough this evening?
Yeah, I've had a rough week, buddy. Really rough week. I've no practice at all. Don't know the track. Zero practice. On, to be honest, if it had been yesterday, I wouldn't have been here. But to be fair, I mean, I just don't want to let the team down this early on in the year. You know what I mean? Because it would be. It's difficult to get back if you miss a night, you know. You can always take it as a drop week, but the team points don't have drop weeks, you know. So
yeah,
it is what it is, I guess.
But what are you going to do? You think, obviously, you know, are you going to make the 4 races?
I don't know. I'm just going to have to see how it holds up, to be honest. But yeah, I hope so. I do.
Awesome stuff there, Steve. What are we thinking race 2? Because you're going to be on the second row, aren't you?
I don't know.
Well, no. Oh, no. Hold on. Top 16 reverse. So you're going to be sort of mid-pack.
Yeah, I was then as well. I think I was 13th then. I just want to stay out of trouble, to be honest. And it's easy to go off here. Once you go off, there's grass, so you're not, you're going to hit a wall or whatever. So take it easy, I think, and just I can't do anything else, to be honest, because I'm just not up to it, you know, really.
No.
So yeah, I'm just going to take my time, just enjoy the racing. The racing with these new guys has been great, so yeah, just take it easy and keep myself out of trouble.
Awesome stuff, Steve. Well, thank you very much to joining us. Just had a message saying session will start 5 minutes into the warm-up. So, we've got a 10-minute warm-up. It's got about 2.5 minutes remaining there as well. So, thanks so much again for joining us there, buddy, and look forward to having a chat with you, I'm sure, at some point this week, or maybe at the end if you manage to get through to the end of the evening.
Yeah, see how it goes. Cheers, buddy.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Well, that was Steve Hefford there as well, and obviously, you know, there are issues at the moment that Steve's battling, which he's doing an absolutely stellar job. So massive shout out to him there as well for getting the car on track tonight. As you say, he hasn't done a lot of practice help as well. So it's going to be a tough one. So we've got about 2 minutes left of warm up before we look like we're going to be forward in the session. So we will be going off. But the thing is, Zach, with that, right, if you haven't practiced, as I full well know, that if you don't practice, you always seem to be chasing your tail. And if you've got things going on, you know, bad back, bad leg, bad foot, or anything like that, it's not going to make it any easier, is it?
For sure. I mean, I've never really been a fan of practicing in sort of my league racing sort of thing, maybe because I don't have friends to practice with, probably. But, you know, I just find it boring, hot lapping and things, like just going round and round and round. So I've always just gone into a race just like, yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, that definitely goes to show as to why I've never competed at the top level of esports. But when you want to compete, you've got to put the hours in, you've got to put the laps in, and not just going round and round aimlessly. You know, looking at the telemetry or looking at your past laps and thinking, where did I go wrong? I missed that apex there. I can brake a little bit later there. There's a shadow that's 10 meters up the road. I should brake there instead. Using those sort of references, putting the time, putting the effort in and going out there, practicing, overstepping the mark, understepping the mark, finding that balance, that compromise, tuning your setup, all these little things that then add up. And that is exactly what the best people do, is finding those differences and finding those advantages. I mean, even if it's just a case of, oh, you know what? PVG's looking quite quick this week. I'll hop in the practice session. I'll ride on board with him for a couple of laps. I'll see how he's doing, what he's doing differently to what I am, and then apply that to your own practice. You don't even need to be on the circuit to practice. You just need to be observing and finding sort of those differences. And unfortunately for Steve Hefford, he hasn't really had the opportunity to do so. And you can definitely see that. He's not a bad driver at all. We saw it last time at the Red Bull Ring. He's quick. He can overtake. He can defend. He is a fantastic driver. However, the woes of not practicing have definitely come back to haunt him for this week. And yeah, I mean, again, probably for him, qualifying in race 1 were his practice.
And that's it. And that's not really long enough at all. But as I say, you know, We know he's no slouch. He's sitting at 5k IR for a reason. And it certainly ain't because he's at the back pitch just picking up IR from every single race. But, you know, overall, he is generally quick. We should be looking to advance the session, I believe. So that's what the message has come through. I'm going to presume that might still be happening. So we'll pay attention there as well. But Phil has put, by the way, I need a 6XL T-shirt.
To each their own. I mean,
that's a big old T-shirt.
That is a big T-shirt.
Big old T-shirt.
I mean, I've gone through Christmas and I can still get into my smalls. So I'm gonna hold that.
That's where the marquee comment comes on, because you need to go to a marquee supplier to get Phil's T-shirt because of the size of the shirt.
There we go. He's caught on. It's only took him what, like 20 minutes?
Really? Did you? Is that what you were presuming from that message? Was it?
No, I don't know what it is. So I just. I don't know.
So you just agreed for no reason?
100%. Yeah. No, if you don't get what's going on, you just finally agree.
See what I'm working with up in the booth here, Phil? It's I don't know. Just I've got people agreeing, Zach not knowing what a marquee is or anything like that. It's all going a little bit wrong.
Mate, you can't. Honestly, do you know what TikTok is? Do you know?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
I do know what TikTok is. Thank you very much. Do you know the internet was out before you were born? Right, it didn't it didn't just get invented when you come alive. There, Zach Sweeney. It was like.
You know what the difference is, though, is that I can call my friends without a brick in my hand.
Hey, that was the best. You know, the best thing about that actually was there was no mobile phones back then. So if you didn't contact somebody, your mate, through the landline, or the fact that you went actually left the house, that was the big thing. And now people don't.
Mate, I can't imagine that.
I know, now people don't even leave the house. So there we go. Right, grid's up for race 2. It is Carl Jacklett leading the way with Ralph Cullen in second, Martin Sampson third, Jason Allen in fourth, Darrell Wright fifth, Elise Bain sixth, Arnold Chagnon seventh, Miles Owens eighth, Steve Hefford ninth, Charles Kellerman 10th, Jamie Ayres in 11th, and Ewan Bramer down in 12th. Then beyond that, PVG in 13th, John Sylvester 14th, Tom Griffin 15th, Daniel Hunt 16th, Andy Jacobson 17th, Jordan Serrett 18th, Sir Alan 2 19th, Andy Lettler 20th, Mick Barry 21st, and Steve Hansford down in 22nd place. Sorry, got me numbers all mixed up on the wrong way. But it is going to be Carl Jacklett leading the way here as well for the next 15 minutes before we then got to change session. Go PRT. So, of course, John Sylvester finishing third for the Platinum Racing Team, but the lights are going to be out. 4, 5, and away we go. Carl Jacklett is, well, he's off the line. It looked like Ralph Cullen's got a bit of a bogged down situation, and Martin Sampson has gone past him on the right hand side there as well. You can see Darrell Wright, Jason Haddington all mixing up as well. Steve Evans off track. He's just bumped in. Oh! And they're attached. PVG's in there as well. I believe that's Miles Owens and Pete Van Gaal. All come together there. Unfortunate start for them three.
That is huge news, of course, for Pete Van Gaal. He is now on a fight back, to the very least, back inside the top 16. And there we go, it's spinning off just in the background as well. That's Jason Haddington as well has had a spin. Also, couple of spins in the opening laps. Then that is very, very unfortunate. Carl Jacklett, though, not complaining out in front. Oh, even more carnage, maybe? No, I think it's sensible from Haddington just to stay stationary, be predictable. Fight here though between Surratt and Mick Barry just in behind also to round off lap number 1, and well, I mean, we didn't see that over the entirety of race 1. Oh, there we go, Surratt. As again, unfortunate, a bit of a sideways moment. We didn't see any of this over the entirety of race 1, but I guess if you wait long enough for one bus, two come at once.
They definitely do, and unless you live down where I am, and then you've got to wait an hour and a half for one bus, and then you don't get another one for a couple of hours. But there we go. Andy Lettler's just gone through. Who was that? There was that Alan Toon went into the barrier. There he is. He's still sat there. Bless that Alan Toon has now dropped all the way down the order. But it is Carl Jacklett, Cullen out in front, Main, Chagnon, Hefford and Bramer are your current top 6 here. There's been a lot of incidents and accidents. PVG, Owens, Wright come together on lap 1, turn 2. Sampson as well. There with Hannington is another one who looked like he was struggling at the base of 3 and 4, and obviously you've just seen Sir Alan Toon in the barrier there as well on the exit of turn 4. We're on the run up through 5 and 6, so it's been a tough start for some of these drivers already.
It has, it really has, and well, the races, as we said over race 1, are going to be ones of attrition. You've got to be in it to win it, yeah, you've got to pick your way through, particularly when it comes to reverse grid races. You've got to have an eye out. You've got to be very, very aware. As Kyle Jacklett very wide through turn number 4, does he cross the white line? Either way, it is going to invite Ralph Cullinan into the lead of the race. I think Jacklett's been able to get away without a slowdown. Now knocking on the door is Elise Main, trying to move their way up into second place. A little bit shaky, struggling maybe a little bit to get back into things, but Kyle Jacklett, those are the exact mistakes that we were talking about just in qualifying there, James. A little bit too wide through turn number 4, and it's cost them the lead.
Yeah, Chardonnay with Steve Evan. Evan's gone up the inside, decided enough is enough, and he's gone up into 4th place now, putting that car to the test. However, he has got a chain of 4 others right behind him, so if he does lead this chain, he needs to break away. And as I say, we've got the leader of the BAMs currently there as well, sitting in 4th place, which is Chardonnay. It looks like, Chardonnay's just probably picking a fight that he doesn't really want to get involved with there, and he looked like he moved over and allowed Ewan Bramer and Tom Griffith through, with Daniel Hunt trying to come up as well. Probably smart from Chardonnay, not really his fight there, Zach, really, is it?
No, for sure. I mean, it's Daniel Hunt at the end of the day. He won race 1. It's side by side here as they run their way up the hill in towards turn number 1. Kellerman versus Ayres, looking to the outside line, trying to soar his way ahead. Beautifully done. Easy peasy, just as well as you'd like it, up now inside the top 10 for the 46 machine. And well, eyeing his sights to John Sylvester just in front. Here's a move again between Ralph Cullinan. This is the fight for the lead. Kyle Jacklett trying to send the move to the inside of turn number 3. Beautifully done. However, Cullinan going to soar his way to the outside of turn number 4. They're very close to contact. Scared a little bit wide though, the Irishman. Could that invite Elise May maybe back onto the scene? Either way, Kyle Jacklett launching the counter attack inside line for turn number 3. Easy done, and well, I managed to hang on to it. Actually, no, maybe not. A little bit wide there off the following corners, and well, Ralph Cullinan tried too hard to defend it, and well, got it back for free just a couple of corners later. Yeah,
Kyle Jacklett now has just lost up position to Elise Main as well. The Lioness has just managed to get hold of him here in race 2, of course. Started currently there up 4, so started in 6th place, now sitting in 2nd. Ralph Cullinan, that's not going to help people behind him there when the car is blinking, as is Ralph currently is. Hopefully that will settle down, but it is Cullinan out in front with Main, Jacklett, Hefford, Bramer, Griffiths is your top 6. It's kind of a different scenario, well, the different but same scenario we had in race 1, isn't it, with these guys battling, Griffiths, Hunt, Bramer, and not so much Hefford because obviously he was dropped down, but these 3 especially were mixing it up.
They are indeed. They're still continuing to do. Is that 3 wide up in towards turn number 1? Oh my word, that's going to get frisky through the middle. Brilliantly done. Fantastic stuff there from, is that even Bramer? Yeah. And now ahead, beautifully done. That is, yeah, it's not oftentimes that you see the middleman actually work it through ahead, but that was class. And just in behind there, still fighting out Hunt versus Griffiths in towards turn number 3. Griffiths looking to the inside of turn number 3. This is getting done a lot more in race number 2. Is he forced to back out of it? Is Hunt going to soar his way to the outside? Nicely done to hang on to it there, side by side, just in the background between Ayres and Arnaud Chagnon. Forced to back out of it though, and Ayres trying to turn defense into offense. Now he's side by side with Sylvester.
Yeah, as they go round 5, 6 and 7, here's Hunt. Ayres is going to come out on top with Sylvester right behind him currently at the moment, but his front pack is getting spicy again. Look like Main may have made an error because she's gone down 2 positions and is now sitting down in 4th place. Obviously, Cullinan spun in the corner. Ralph Cullinan's just sat there, nowhere to go, and Cullinan from the lead has gone round there as well, and that I suppose now has released Kyle Jacklett to be on top. So there we go. Kyle Jacklett is now out in front after Ralph Cullinan had a bit of a spin.
Again, easily done. It's a race of attrition. Consistency is going to win overall when it comes to races like this, when it comes to circuits like this. Jacklett now leads the way. Steve Hefford up there in 2nd. That's not too bad of a showing. Looking at the background though, that's even Bramer trying to send the move on Elise Main, who covers it off by being a little bit squeamish under brakes. However, forced a little bit wide. That could invite Daniel Hunt to have a bit of a look to the inside of turn number 2 versus Griffiths. That was beautifully done from Hunt. He's proven his mettle. He's shown why he deserved to win in race number 1. Now Griffiths to the outside of turn number 3. He tried the inside last lap. It didn't quite work. So now he's got to try the outside. Is he going to be able to use that outside momentum? He backs out of it, probably for the best. Daniel Hunt, though, he's working his way up bit by bit, a little bit wide there from Elise Main, invites Even Bremer through, and potentially Daniel Hunt as well.
Yeah, Daniel Hunt's trying to battle away with Main there as well. I think Main's just running a little bit wide. Allowed for, he's just lost 3 positions to Hunt, Griffiths and Ayres. So they've, unfortunately, it's dropped Elise Main all the way down into 7th place. Now where she's gone from +4 to -1 on her grid slot there currently at this moment in time. And we'll bring you up the gainers on the left-hand side there. You can see Hunt 12, Griffiths 10, Littler up 8. Biggest losers, Samson, Haddington, Wright, all down 14 positions from where they started, and of course Ralph Cullen down in 12 positions there as well. Oh! Wow!
Good hands. Oh, maybe not for Even Bremer. That is, again, unfortunate. That's Griffiths as well, going a little bit slow. That is not the way you want to see your race to go, and particularly in terms of how competitive and how close fights like these are. Jamie Ayres moves himself once again ahead of Daniel Hunt. Actually, that's because Steve Hefford is tumbling his way down the order. Now Ayres versus Hunt in towards turn number 1. You can see Ayres on the outside in that very, very red MX5. Hunt on the inside through turn number 2. Who's going to get the better line through this? Is all allowing Carl Jacklett to get away to the margin now of about 2.5 seconds. So the fight is on for second, but Daniel Hunt is soaring his way up the field. Now is defending for second place because Jamie Ayres might give it a good old go around the outside of turn number 3. He doesn't want to get beached on the outside though because Steve Hefford is waiting in the wings. That's his opportunity. He's going to pounce back onto the podium for Hefford.
Yeah, Hefford's now back into 3rd place. Daniel Hunt in 2nd, Carl Jacklett is in 1st. This battle here looks like where it is at. If Jacklett can keep up the pace, he's doing a 1:35.5. Last time out, Hunt did a 1:35.87. So from his point of view, if he can hold on, keep doing them lap times, he might be all right here. But Jamie Ayres there. Oh, Hefford's off. Oh, he's just lost a chunk of position now. Down in 6th place is Steve Hefford. But Daniel Hunt, Jamie Ayres and John Sylvester, at least Main's trying to go around the outside of him currently at the moment. Oh, okay. Thinks twice about that. Hefford did kind of place his car in a bit of a difficult position for her to be able to get through.
Yeah, for sure, but that's how you got to defend, I suppose. It's making it difficult for the car behind to find a way through, but Steve Hefford demoted to 6th, and it just goes to show how quick the pendulum can swing. One time it's going your way, other times it really is not, and for Steve Hefford, he is having a roller coaster of a race number 2. Carl Jacklett, however, Daniel Hunt, this time last lap, I swear it was 2.5 seconds. It's now half a second between the leader of Carl Jacklett and P2 of Daniel Hunt. This is, honestly, all goes well. I can see Daniel Hunt winning all 4 races. I don't want to say too much too early, but his pace, is at the moment, he's setting the benchmark.
Yeah, he is, and he's closed right up to Jacklett. Jacklett's just lost an absolute ton of time out in that gap. We were talking sort of, you say 2.5 at 1.6 the last time around, and now we're talking 2 tenths, and he's only got 4.5 minutes here to hang on. This is what is technically known as a very tall order for Daniel Hunt. Well, no, more for Carl Jacklett to hang on, I think, because it's going to be tough for the next 4.5 minutes, isn't it?
It is. It's going to be the longest 4.5 minutes of his life, and that starts right now because Daniel Hunt was looking to the outside of the hairpin. Bit of a switch, though, from the 07 MX5. Loses a bit of momentum, and well, he's lost that and brought Ayres and Sylvester back into the mix. A 4-way fight for the lead with 4 minutes left to go. I translate to maybe about 3 laps left in this race. Potentially, give or take, round about that point. Definitely is going to be close, but Carl Jacklett, well, that's 3 cars. Daniel Hunt, Jamie Ayres, and of course John Sylvester. 3 cars I would not want to be looking behind me in my rear view mirror. Now down the pit straight and up in towards turn number 1. Carl Jacklett potentially forced to go defensive inside outside. Which way is Daniel Hunt going to go? And he's going to go to the inside. If he's brave enough on the brakes, he could see himself back into the race lead. There's the move from the 07 machine. However, Carl Jacklett's going to fight it to the outside now. Inside line for turn number 2. That's going to invite Ayres onto the scene, and this is exactly what Jacklett needs. He needs the rest of the pack to try and put some pressure on Hunt.
Yeah, he definitely does here at the moment, but you see, he didn't hang on quite well. He put in a good effort, didn't he? Come out of 1, and then sent it up the inside of 2 and 3 and just kind of maintain that speed. But he's got to be going again here as he's coming around turn 3 and 4 through the S's. This could go either way. Jacklett slots into second, Hunt takes the lead. Ayres in third, Sylvester in fourth. Oh, Jacklett gets a slide on, and Hunt, Ayres is now coming right up behind him currently at the moment in time, but Jacklett got a bit of a tank slapper there, Zach.
Yeah, easily done again. It's the easiest mistake that we've seen drivers make. The more they fight it though, Daniel Hunt is just getting away, up and under potentially for Jamie Ayres, trying to find a way through. Not quite at the moment for the very metallic red MX5. Simple, but it works. And it's working the way of Jamie Ayres in this race, up 8 places from the green flag. Daniel Hunt up 15, of course. He is on a mad one. John Sylvester up 10 as well. Brilliant stuff from the majority of the top 4. Carl Jacklett as well there, getting it up amongst the big dogs as well, must be said. Credit to them. And, well, potentially could still finish on the podium. A couple of laps left to go in this race, then only a handful left for race number 2. It's Hunt that leads, Jacklett, Ayres and Sylvester, your top 4. And I think, in all fairness, at this point, James, it's a race for second. Can Jacklett hang on?
It's going to be, again, quite tough because of the fact of how speedy Ayres has been. Looks like Maine's been caught herself up in an incident and has now dropped all the way down into 15th place. Ewan Bramer there in a very battered-looking MX5 is in 9th, but it's Carl Jacklett and Ayres battle. Jacklett's trying, he's trying his hardest here, Zach, isn't he, to try and maintain his podium.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, you've got to give tooth and nail, particularly when it comes to podiums, championship points as well. And, well, you got to work it. You got to work for it. There's no freebies when it comes to sim racing. Oh, a little bit wide. That was flirting with disaster. Ayres is trying to find any way through possible versus the car in front, Carl Jacklett, who's been, again, I have to say, throw praises their way because it's been absolutely sensational. Darting his way to the apex into the hairpin. You run your way uphill again. Perfect defensive maneuver. You just aim yourself at the corner. And it's not moving under braking, but it's the same principle where you just cover off the inside for free. And Jacklett is making that MX5 so wide. It's a small car, but Jacklett, well, he's making that look like a bus.
I think that's the thing, isn't he? He's got to. He hasn't really got a choice, has he? If he doesn't, he's going to end up losing even more chunky, more positions than he really wants to. And we know that if Ayres starts pushing his way through, then you can guarantee Sylvester's going to come and follow through. These guys don't need a door to be left open for too long before they start thinking about sticking their nose up the inside. And that's what Jacklett cannot do going into this last lap, because that's where we're at. We're on the last lap of the race. Hunt is out in front by 2 seconds, bar any drastic errors that we haven't seen from him all evening. I'm going to take it as he's going to win. Carl Jacklett, Jamie Ayres and John Sylvester, however, is still open as behind Steve Hefford and Charles Kellerman. Kellerman's going to try and go for the inside. Hefford covered him off going down into 3 and 4. Kellerman's going to try and send it. No, he's not. And then we've got Martin Sampson and Andy Littler. Andy Littler's doing a stellar job. But it is this run round now into the final half of this circuit. Jamie Ayres has got the inside. He got the inside line off Jacklett. Can Jacklett hold it around the outside? Give him room to come back on. Oh, Sylvester's just got them all. Sylvester says, thank you very much. I'll take them 2 spots, gentlemen.
Fantastic. Beautifully done. Only a couple more corners left to go in this race. And Sylvester, well, you give him an inch and he'll take a mile. And that's exactly what he's done. Catapulted himself from 4th to 2nd in the span of 1 corner. And, well, you don't need... he doesn't need an invitation. As soon as he got a sniff of it, he worked his way forward. And now into the final couple of corners, Daniel Hunt, he's on top form.
He definitely is, and he's going to come across the line in first place. There's Barney waving on the left-hand side. Daniel Hunt is going to take it. Now, I normally write down who's going to finish where. I stopped after Hunt because I weren't entirely sure which way it was going to go. And now Sylvester has taken the spot in second with Ayres in third. So good job I didn't. Unfortunately for Carl Jacklett, he went all the way down into 4th place here. Miles Owens and Ralph Cullen, they're running up to the line nose to tail as well. Both of them in very unfortunate looking MX5s. Is this going to be Cullen? It is. Cullen got through over Owens there as well. Main comes across the line after must have had to make a mistake there to drop all the way down the order. And then Tom Griffiths is at the back with Sir Alan Toon. So, yeah. A few people had some good races, a few people not so much.
Yeah, again, that's racing. Some people have the best days, other people have the worst days. I have to feel for Carl Jacklett though, because if you lose one place, you're going to lose two places in races like these. If you've got two cars behind you and you get overtaken by one, someone's going to find a way through. Tom Griffith, so again, only sympathy. Again, it was so close to that fight for sort of the front places and what could have been really for the 16, who comes across for 19th place overall in race number 2. And he's got a lot of hard work coming up for race number 3 because he's a couple of places short of benefiting off the reverse grid. So it's P19 start for Tom Griffiths, and he's got to work his way forward.
Yeah, Daniel Hunt in first place, John Sylvester second, Jamie Ayres third, Carl Jacklett fourth, Steve Hefford fifth, Charles Kellerman finishes in sixth place, PVG in seventh, Arnold Cholonier eighth, Eamon Brayman ninth, Martin Sampson 10th, Andy Littler down in 11th with Ralph Cullinan in 12th, Miles Owens 13th, Elise Main 14th, Jason Hannington 15th, Darrell Wright 16th, Jordan Sirrett 17th, Steve Hansford is down in 18th place. Tom Griffiths down in 19th, Sir Alan Toon 20th, Anthony Jacobson 21st, and Mick Barry 7 laps down in 22nd place. Right, guys, we're going to jump onto a quick BRB screen while we change sessions. Don't go anywhere, as we'll be back very, very shortly. Okay, guys, we are back. We are on the grid. They've forwarded the session on us as well. So Alan Toon is currently in pole position. Whether or not I'm going to get time to read it, I'm not. So we've got Toon, Bramer, Wright, Sirrett, Hansford, Griffith, Ayres, Owens, Barry, Kellerman, PVG, Andy Littler, Carl Jacklett, Elise Main, Martin Sampson, Jason Anderton, John Sylvester, Daniel Hunt, Ralph Cullen, Arnold Chonier, Steve Efford and Anthony Jacobson at the back of the field. But we're up and running with Alan Toon on pole position here for race 3 of this 4-race evening from the UK SimRacers MX5. And away we go. Alan Toon is leading the way with E1 Bramer, Darrell Wright, Tom Griffiths there. You can see him further back, the gaggle of cars. They're almost 4 or 5 wide going into turn 1. How is this all going to settle down? It's all going to kick off here with Mick Barry in the middle of it. Everybody else tiptoes through there. There's a wide runner off the track as well. Daniel Hunt, Steve Efford, they all look like they've been involved in an incident. They are all still running, mind you. So that's where they all just backed everybody up. And they did basically just back up and away they go. E1 Bramer has taken the lead. He's taken the leads out by 1.7 seconds already.
Perfect start, of course, and that's exactly what Bramer needs, is to just get away early, get away from the carnage, get away from the chaos, and extend the gap to Tom Griffiths, who's going to be hoping that Jamie Ayres puts some pressure on him, and of course Darrell Wright, Alan Toon, Mick Barry into the mix as well. Potentially that's exactly what Bramer's going to want. That's an ideal situation that he can then use to just get away, and obviously for the Flying Dutchman, he was able to take a victory last time at the Red Bull Ring. He's looking to extend that again today. That 36 machine is looking mighty. Oh, off the circuit, Carl Jacklett. It's just going from bad to worse. It started at such a high fighting for the lead in race 2, and into race number 3, it's just not it.
Yeah, well, he can't blame me for that one, because normally when he jumps in the booth, his next race is terrible. So he did jump in the booth, so he can't blame me. Jacobson has unfortunately crashed out and is now into the pits as well. Charles Kellerman mixing it up into the pack of cars, which was still got Sir Alan Toon in front, which is absolutely incredible. He's still holding on to 5th place. Go on, Toony, son. Put your foot on it. Get going. Griffiths is caught up with Bramer. Now Bramer is on 2nd place there as well. I'm not sure what exactly happened to Bramer there. Not a lot. It didn't look like he went off track. It just looked like he lost a bunch of time. And Alan Toon hugging the inside line as Charles Kellerman goes round him there as well. Oh, Daniel Hunt. Was that Martin Sampson? It was. I think it was Martin Sampson dropping down the order. Yeah. Hunt and Sampson. Tough one that though, wasn't it, really? Because kind of Alan Toon was kind of moving out of the way, and then unfortunately there was nowhere to go for the guys in front of him.
Yeah, sometimes, getting out of people's way can actually cause sort of more confusion than you'd expect. And unfortunately for those involved, it was a case of, what do I do? Do I go outside? I don't really want to get boxed in behind Toon. When things like that are happening, things are bound to sort of go wrong. You see it oftentimes in sort of endurance racing, multi-class racing, where you've got, DPIs and LMP2s lapping the GTEs and things like that. Not oftentimes in sort of MX5s, but yeah, trying to go to the outside, darting their way past Alan Toon, and a bit of contact has unfortunately sent Sampson's race into a bit of a disarray. 3:05 for the lead. Tom Griffiths, E1 Bramer and Jamie Ayres all fighting over the top spot in the early stages of race number 3. Griffiths, he's got to hang on, because E1 Bramer, after that mistake, whatever it was that saw him lost the lead, he's going to be fighting, he's going to be fiery, wanting to get that place back. But Griffiths, 5 places on the opening lap. That is sensational. That is great stuff. And now, well, he's got to control the lead.
Yeah, he definitely has currently. It looks like there's been an incident with Alan Toon, Chonier and Hunt. But Toon has dropped all the way down into 17th. Chonier is still running in 8th. Hunt is in 10th. Bramer's just gone up the inside of Tom Griffiths. Is Jamie Ayres going to be looking at trying to go around the outside? He is. Bramer's running too wide. He's carried too much speed in. Has lost both positions now. And unfortunately for E1 Bramer, he's now dropped behind Ayres and Griffiths here. And also then we go down all the way down here to Daniel Hunt, who's mixing out with Arnold Chonier and Miles Owens. So a lot of battles going on across the circuit currently at the moment, Zach.
Beautiful stuff. I love to see it there, side by side, just in behind Owens, and of course trying to work his way forward in towards turn number 3. Well, that is always going to be a bit sketchy. Oh, a little bit wide there. Invites Hunt through. Beautiful stuff. John Sylvester, I think, falling back just a little bit. Swap for the lead as well as Jamie Ayres gets himself into the lead of the race back at the front. And, well, Griffith's going to fight it back now to the right-hand side. The metallic red of Jamie Ayres on the outside as they run their way downhill into the hairpin. You can see even Bremer just sat idle, waiting for his opportunity to strike. No moves to the inside. And, well, there we go. Tom Griffiths back to the front. Beautiful stuff between the two. There's the move from Jamie Ayres, though, looking to the final couple of corners. Sees the inside open up. Even Bremer tried to follow him through as well. And, well, that was opportunistic. That was bold. That was brave. That was brilliant from Jamie Ayres. He saw the gap on the inside. He committed to it. And, well, he finds himself back into the lead.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, from Griffiths' point of view there, he kind of left the door open going around that corner, which seemed a little bit of a strange manoeuvre, to be fair, because you don't really want to leave the door open with the likes of Jamie Ayres coming up behind you. I'm quite surprised that he did do that. Hefford is tucked up right behind Main. Of course, Main had a terrible one in the last one there, so in race 2, battling away in race 3. Hefford has just gone up the inside and Hefford takes 6th place, looking to move on now. He's got 2.6 seconds over Charles Kellerman. Daniel Hunt has done the fastest lap of the race. He's on the back end of this pack by about 2.1 seconds, so it's going to be interesting to see how Hunt, whether or not he can close up now on these guys. But Ewan Bremer and Griffiths here battling away for 2nd and 3rd place at this moment in time, and it is getting quite spicy again at the top.
Well, when hasn't it been this evening, James? Let's be honest. It's been very, very spicy, well, I've been enjoying it so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of race 3 and, of course, race number 4. In terms of Daniel Hunt, he's about 11.5 seconds off the race lead. It's not impossible. It's unlikely. If they battle at the front, he might be able to find his way back into contention, but he's got a lot of cars between himself and Jamie Ayres at the front of the field, who is really taking the reins and is now trying to spread his wings just a little bit. But, of course, Tom Griffiths, even Bremer, not letting him get away. They cannot risk letting him get away, because as soon as he's outside of a second, well, yeah, his aim is Jamie Ayres' race to lose out in front. But Griffiths hot on his heels. He's on the case through the final corner of turn 14 to start yet another lap. And again, it is just a race of attrition. I know we've said it so many times in all of the races so far, but it comes down to who is going to make that vital error and at what point in the race are you going to make it.
Yeah, so give a shout out to Darryl Wright there as well. Darryl sitting currently in 4th place, leading the AMS, doing an absolutely stellar job. Hunter's set another fastest lap on 1:33.55. He's now really closing up. His gap's down to about 1 second from Main. Main is there in the pink roll bar, of course, and wing mirrors on the MX5 for the Optical Red team. Further back, we've got Jason Haddington chasing down Andy Littler with his teammate Arnold Chagnonier in front. Is Haddington going to be looking to try to make this move up on the inside? He's got the doors wide open, mind you. If you want that option, you might as well go and take it, son. And he does. He sticks it in there with confidence. Door was left wide open by Andy Littler, and Jason Haddington said thank you very much. But the front 3 is still battling away, still going for it. 7 minutes remaining, still waiting for that one mistake, Zach, do we think?
100%. Or, as you say, confidence. That is the key word when it comes to racing. Having that confidence, being confident in your stride. And like what we saw with Ayres into this very corner here, he knew the space was going to open up. He knew that he had the run, and, well, a little bit wide there. He's not too confident through the final couple of corners. That could invite Tom Griffiths to retake the lead, or leave him beach on the outside through the long sweeper of turn 14. Even Bremer now looking to get himself up in a 2nd place. Now it's a case of who can put their foot to the floor first. However, Griffiths on the outside is going to get the benefit of the slipstream with Jamie Ayres just in front as they barrel their way uphill and towards turn number 1. Could we see a change for the lead potentially as well, as Ayres under a bit of pressure, ducking and diving? Even Bremer looking to the inside. He's late on the brakes and towards turn number 1. Beautifully done. Has he got that nose ahead as they run their way into turn 2? He's able to squeeze the car out just in behind, and, well, even Bremer, he was again confident. That space opened up on the inside. He filled it up now into 2nd. Now he's sort of he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Tom Griffiths, he's not going to let him get away, but he also has to put some intense, unrelenting pressure on Jamie Ayres in front of him. Let's not risk letting the number 46 machine get away. And, well, we've got to fight for the lead, and we've got to fight here for 6th place as well. This is sensational stuff as Daniel Hunt tries to pick off another place.
Yeah, he's just picked off at least Main, I think. Daniel Hunt has just gone through. Next up is Steve Hefford. Main's trying to come back, runs a little bit wide over the gravel. That is John Sylvester from the other Platinum Racer team. Toon, Jackley and Barry look like they've all been involved in a little bit of a fracas, shall we say, and they've had a coming together. It's put Alan Toon into the pits there. So we'll maybe try and check that one out very, very shortly. But at least Main is trying to keep on the back of the very fast John Sylvester. A bit of a tall order. He does go deep, mind you. He's not going to coming back over the turns around off 11. Main's going to try and get the inside line. Oh, nothing doing there. Hunt is climbing all over the back of Hefford, mind you. And this is the battle for 6th and 7th place, respectfully. The front guys, Ewan Bramer has got out in front. So there we go. Yeah, Ewan Bramer is now out in front. He passed Jamie Ayres and Tom Griffiths. Trying to see where he did that. Did it about here, I think. So there was Jamie Ayres. Does Jamie get it all wrong? Oh, yes. Power slide from Jamie Ayres, and that's allowed Ewan Bramer through. So, yeah, and now obviously Bramer's out in front with Griffiths and Ayres. Ayres has got to come back at him and go again, Zach, really.
Again, it's about coming back, recollecting yourself, recomposing yourself, and getting back into that rhythm. When you're in a fight sort of as tight as this one, you've got to be on your top game. And as soon as you get overtaken, it's a knock, it's a step backwards. You're like, oh, okay, right, rebuild myself, come back at it, and then go again. And for anyone involved in this top 3 fight, that is the exact case that they've got to get themselves into that mindset of is you're going to lose places, you're going to make places. All that matters is where you are come the checkered flag. It's a long race. Yes, it's only 15 minutes long, but you still have to think long game. You have to position yourself. Where do you want to be come that final lap? Because at the end of the day, James, that is all that matters. You know, how many laps of a race do you need to lead? 0. As long as you lead that run to the line, you've won the race, right? It doesn't matter. Even Bremer, he could lead from now up until the final corner. If he's not leading across the checkered flag, doesn't matter. He's not getting the win. And I know that sounds so simple, and it is, but it's a principle that you need to sort of think about. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'm in second now, but I've still got a long race left to go. I've got plenty of time to make this move. And yeah, again, it's that mental game. It's that long game. It's playing the clever, strategical mindset, not just going out and out, brawling for the entire race. And again, when you've got cars as close as this and as competitive as this, we've got 3 of the league's quickest drivers here fighting it out for the lead. It's just not going to be easy, is it? No,
it definitely isn't. Bramer's got to really think long and hard about where he's going to position his car on this one. Serrett has just cleared Sampson. Serrett has just gone through. Bramer's got to think where he's going to position the car, how he's going to position the car, make sure he doesn't do anything crazy, make sure he doesn't get any silly off tracks, silly slowdowns or locks or spins the wheels up, especially coming out of turn 12 where we saw Jamie Ayres had that big power slide. He wants to try and make sure he's not doing that at the same time, but he's driving defensively, he's keeping the inside line covered, which is what he kind of needs to do. But now he's got to get that car drifted out a little bit left to cover that inside line for that run down into 11.
For sure. And again, Tom Griffiths, Jamie Ayres, they're all being, sort of observing each other. They know where the moves are going to happen. And again, that's a crucial factor, knowing your opponent, knowing what they're going to do. Jamie Ayres, he's shown his hand in that move that he did earlier and was able to dart his way to the inside and was confident in able to make that move. Now he's sort of shown his hand, and Griffiths and Bramer are like, yeah, cool. You've shown us that. We can now cover it off. We've learned from our mistakes, and we're not going to let you do it in future. It is just a case of adapting. And, well, here it comes to the outside. Tom Griffiths into turn number 1, maybe trying to go for the up and under, but Bramer has it covered. And it's great stuff that Bramer is portraying here to hang on to the lead. He's quick where he needs to be, James, and that's the important thing. He's quick off the exits, and he's defending into corners. And, again, that is a pretty formidable defence, and it's one that Griffiths can't crack yet.
I think that's the thing, especially dropping down into 3 and 4 there. He just kind of positions his car over the white line. Doesn't give Griffiths much of an option to decide whether or not he's going to go inside and try and tighten up 3 or 4. Or Griffiths is going to try and come back through the 5, 6, 7 complex. He's getting... maybe that's where Griffiths is thinking, I might have him here. Because Bramer was quite slow coming through the exit of 4 on the run up to 5, 6, 7. So it is a possible passing place for Griffiths.
For sure. I mean, you can, in theory, make a move wherever you like, but it's a case of, are you quick enough relative to your opponent to be able to make that move? One that people have been eyeing up for a long, long time is that one in towards turn number 12, where we are just now. Running a little bit wide, though, could actually invite Griffiths to the inside as they run their way through into 13. Now the long super 14. He is a nose ahead. There's no way through for Bramer on the inside because Griffiths able to just get in front and control it. Beautifully done. And again, it's a mistake. Ran a little bit wide, compromised his momentum, and boom, straight on the scene was that man sat in second. Tom Griffiths now at the helm. But again, it's not a done deal because Bramer's not out of it. He sat there in second. Jamie Ayres sat just in behind in third. Any mistake, and again, he's going to fall his way back maybe to the back of this train. Look at them. They're bumper to bumper to bumper. You could throw a bed sheet over them and you would cover all of them. They are so incredibly close, and it could come down to anyone.
Yeah, this is the final lap of the race. We've got Tom Griffiths out in first. Bramer's running in second place. He's left that door open. He's going to try and run around the outside. He's not stopping that car. Not stopping that car. I'd be surprised if he didn't get some form of slowdown, and he has, because he's now dropped back, and that's allowed Griffiths now, I think, possibly to go and secure this race-free win, I think.
Oh, don't. Yeah, it's definitely a good position for him to be in. It definitely looks very unlikely that even Bramer is going to be able to work his way back into the limelight. Is there any last-ditch effort in towards turn number 10 for the final time? It's got to be Jamie Ayres maybe trying to find a way through. Has he got anything left in his back pocket, anything left in his arsenal to try and find a way through? A handful of corners left to go in race number 3, and it might go the way of Tom Griffiths, who, in all fairness, deserves it thoroughly. He's been on fire into the penultimate corner. And, well, it's Tom Griffiths. If he can keep it clean, if he can keep it tidy, he'll take the checkered flag.
Yeah, he definitely will. He's got one more corner to go. And we say Darryl Wright leading the AMs in first place as your leaders come across the line. It is Tom Griffiths takes the win in race 3. Jamie Ayres second and Ewan Bramer. And here comes Darryl Wright just hanging on from Daniel Hunt. Darryl Wright there in 4th place. Excellent, stellar job from him, and then obviously everybody else coming in behind him as well. Main, Cullen, and there is Chagnon, who was second in the pros. So Arnold Chagnon there with Serrett currently sitting third. Comes across the line. Here comes Jordan Serrett with Jason Haddington behind him. So as these guys come over the line, job done for them. Well done. Kyle Jacquelet. Tough one. Bit in the wars by the looks of his car.
Well, wars, yeah, absolutely. Plural for sure. Is Kyle Jacquelet. That is, again, the pace has been there. It's proved that in race 2. It just wasn't going 100%. And again, that's the thing. You have off days. Sometimes Lady Luck, she doesn't really like you that day. Sometimes it's just like, you know what? No, you can start off. Not giving you luck. You're not letting crashes go your way. Not letting you be able to pick your way through. Sometimes that's just how it is. And love it or hate it, that's motorsport. Sometimes it's fantastic. Sometimes it works in your favor. Other times it ruins your evening and makes you go to bed with a bit of a frown on your face. But Kyle Jacquelet, the pace is there. There's always positives to take, and was able to sort of get it amongst some of the best people in the championship in race 2. And while race 3 didn't quite go their way, there's always race 4 to maybe work your way back up to the front. Pete Van Gool, however, well, let's talk about wars for a second. Championship leader coming into this one was able to perform in race 1, all right in race 2, but race 3 was just abysmal.
Yeah, it definitely was there. Let's bring you up the results here as well. Tom Griffiths is your winner for race 3, of course. Jamie Ayres in second, Ewan Bramer third, Darryl Wright fourth, Daniel Hunt fifth, John Sylvester in sixth, Charles Kellerman seventh, Steve Hefford eighth, Miles Owens ninth, Elites Main 10th, Ralph Cullen 11th, Arnold Chagnon in 12th, Martin Sampson 13th, Jordan Serrett 14th, Jason Haddington 15th, Andy Littler 16th, Kyle Jacquelet 17th, and Mick Barry is in 18th place. Steve Hansford, Sir Alan Toome, PVG, and Anthony Jacobson rounds out your top 22 there as well. Now we have got a brief 5 minutes of warm up before we get back at it for race 4. So let's see what happens. So there we go. Race 4, last one of the evening, Zach. Gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, all comes down to this. And again, while it is only round 2 of the 12 round mini season that we've got for the first part of 2023, you know, there's still a long way to go. And despite that, every point counts. It's later on when you get to rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, where you look back and you think, could have scored more points at Rudskogen, could have maximized it a little bit more. Now you're in the present, you're in the moment. You've got to be doing your future self some favors and think, you pick up those points now. Don't be regretting yourself in hindsight and thinking, oh, could have gone for that move, could have picked up an extra couple of points here. Go for that move now. Take control, seize your moment. And well, race number 4 is definitely a lot on the line because it's gearing up to be such a competitive year of MX5 racing.
It definitely is, and one that is going to be incredible as we go into this tri-season of racing here as well. So it is a tri-season, which basically means we've got 3 seasons, and then we will announce the overall winner at the end of that 3rd season, which will take us into week 39 of the year. So there we go. Week 39. Incredible. So, yeah, we will pick it up in there as well. Best the luck for me today.
Great England, that is.
Does anybody see the other format structure there that cannot really, doesn't really work that, Miles, mate? I've got to be honest. So there we go.
Oh, wait, not the best luck for him? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I think it's probably not there. Oh, good evening, Craig Jones. How did you get on in your race? Yeah, all right, mate. 3 times. How did your race go, Craig? So there we go. Race 4. Ready to be going in about a minute and a half's time. So really looking forward to seeing how this one gets on. Stupid car. Oh, didn't go well in your GR86 then. So there we go. Never mind, Craig. Never mind.
Win some, you lose some.
Yeah, suck it up, mate. You know.
Oh, there we go. He's corrected himself. He said, "Not the best of luck for me today." There we go.
Oh, okay.
He's made up for it. He's redeemed himself. Wait, he spammed not there about 3 times as well. He got there in the end though. Poor Miles, bless him. But yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, everyone's in the same boat. A lot of people have had some really bad luck today, James.
Yeah, they definitely have. Carl Jacklett being one of them, PVG being another. So even at top at some point, Ewan Bramer, Tom Griffiths are coming together as well. So you're not the only one, Miles, unfortunately. It's just not the great... I don't know if I like this circuit. Like, if I was like, I've just put the series together for the Clio Cup, but I don't know if I would instantly think of this track because Red Bull... we saw overtakes and action and overtakes and action, and I just don't feel that Rudskogen's given us that MX5 action that we're maybe because I've been spoiled over the seasons we've done the UK SimRacers, of course, but it doesn't really give you that.
You've been desensitized. You've had too much of a good thing, and it just makes everything else just boring to you, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Compared to the Red Bull Ring, it looks like a Sunday drive, 100%, right? I can agree with that. But I don't think we've had bad racing. I think we've just had different racing. It's been a different dynamic. Of course, well, we go to the Red Bull Ring and other circuits, it's just an all-out, cage fight, and people are going at each other's throats and sending moves, all this stuff. Around Rudskogen, you have to have a different mentality. You have to be a bit more, articulate with your moves. You have to think about them a little bit more. You have to play the long game, and it's a different style of racing. And well, that different style of racing all ends here for race number 4.
Yeah, it does. Here is the grid. Chaudièr's on pole, Cullinan 2nd, Mason 3rd, Owens 4th, Hefford 5th, Kellerman 6th, Sylvester 7th, Daniel Hunt 8th, Darrell Wright 9th, Ewan Bramer 10th, Jamie Ayres 11th, Tom Griffiths down in 12th place. Beyond that, Sampson, Sirrett, Haddington, Littler, Jacklett, Barry, Steve Hansford to Alan 2, PVG and Anthony Jacobson there. It was the top 12 reverse. Arnold Chaudière was that man in 12th place, and he's now going to be leading us off. How is he going to be coping with the pressure? Time will tell. We're just waiting for Alan to get on track. It's great. I'm so happy Alan's back here this evening as well. So there we go. So we wait patiently now. Where are you, Mr. Toon? Maybe he's pop to the gentlemen's, shall we say. None of the racing is boring, Zach. We never said it was boring. That's not what I mean. I know what I mean.
That was my point.
Yeah, Arnold Chagnalet, here we go. Oh, lights are on and it's green, green, green. Here for the race for UkSimracers MX5 live from Rudskogen in Norway. Here Arnold Chagnalet leads the way, Elise Main in second, Ralph Cullinan in third place. Everybody surviving so far at the moment, even further back with Darrell Wright, Carl Jacklett. Jacklett's obviously had an awful evening, as have Steve Hansford and Alan Toon and Jordan Sirrett, and both of them have survived. And currently, I'm going to say currently, Zach, everybody through cleanly.
Yeah, touch wood. So side by side into turn 3. That is Daniel Hunt trying to move his way to the inside. Nice stuff there. Charles Kellerman on the outside. That could invite even Bramer to follow him through now into the second part of turn number 4. Beautifully done. If you can manage to keep it now, get your foot to the floor into the S's. Outside line, of course, for even Bramer. Could invite Jamie Ayres, who's looking a little bit feisty just in behind in that metallic red MX5. Just in the background there, side by side as he darts his way to the inside. Even Bramer caught with his pants around his ankles. And now John Sylvester maybe might be on the scene as oh no! Sideways the Flying Dutchman. That is huge, huge for him after the high of race number 3. Comes into race number 4 and he is tumbling.
He's gone all the way down into 20th place. Lucky for him, Jason Haddington had an incident behind him. So Haddington had also had a crash as well. And unfortunately for Bramer, that's the only reason he isn't sitting down in 21st at the moment. But Steve Everd at the front there as well, being led by Arnold Chagnalet with Steve Everd and Ralph Cullinan. Yes, Ralph did manage to put it in first gear this time and did not go backwards. So, and he's still not jumped in the booth with me beforehand, Craig, and had a chat about that. I'm not going to lie. But this is the train now of cars. We've got about, well, all the way down into 14th in this long train of cars here. And at the back of him is PVG. Daniel Hunt is just about to send it up the inside of Elise Main. Main runs a little bit wide. Still holds on to the position, mind you, of 4th and 5th. So let's see how this one works out. It's going to be tough up here, though, isn't it, Zach? You know, look how close they are.
Indeed so. And well, when things are this close, yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of tension and stuff can very easily go wrong. Side by side, just in the background for that fight for 5th, Daniel Hunt versus Miles Owens as they run their way through in towards turn number 4. A little bit deep there from the 4th place car, able to hang on, of course. And well, there we go. Arnold Chagnalet is doing a fantastic job of keeping Steve Hefford at bay. And for no practice, Steve Hefford really, really is impressing in the opening stages of this race. Is tumbling his way down, their way down, I should say, as Elise Main. That is. Again, that's
sure
unfortunate. She's not had the best today.
No, but
a bit wide, maybe. Oh, in a bit. That's hardware. That's got to be hardware.
Yeah, I would say that was pretty much what, because I wouldn't see her generally going to stack it into the wall on purpose. Hefford runs wide. That's allowed Ralph Cullinan back up into second. And Arnold Chagnalet is still leading the way there currently at the moment. So stellar job from Chagnalet with Cullinan. And Hefford in third, being chased down by Daniel Hunt. So that's always a tough one.
For sure. It's a tricky situation to be in, but Chagnalet is representing for the AMs, I suppose. He's up there, and now look at that conga line snaking their way through the pit straight, and well, 14 deep is this conga train, and well, this is fantastic stuff. Now semi-defensive, dying it to the inside though, great stuff. Ralph Cullinan trying to look to the inside, not quite brave enough on the brakes, but good enough to maybe deter Chagnalet, maybe put a bit of pressure on. It wasn't quite enough. It was a late dive, it was a late attempt, but it was a good effort. Now forcing the initiative, forcing the lime green MX5 just in front to go a little bit defensive, and again trying to cover off all his bases. Now to the outside, that could be a bit of a dangerous situation to be in, because Steve Hefford is waiting in the wings, waiting for any opportunity to find a way through. A little bit wide though from the race leader, could invite second place through. Oh my word, they're flirting with disaster every time they go through any corner. You just have to hold your breath sometimes, James, and this is exactly one of those moments. Look at this fight for the lead. Yeah, definitely. With 10 minutes remaining here, we've got Chagnalet, Cullinan, Hefford, Hunt, Owens, Ayres, Sylvester and Kellerman all in the first group, and then Tom Griffiths is just kind of trying to catch him up actually. Cullinan's he's got a decision to make now, isn't he? He either defends for his life and tries to help Chagnalet break away, or he's got to try and push forward. He's kind of stuck between that no man's land. I think Hefford's going to try and make a move into 11 here. He's got to try and make it stick though, because there has been a few people sliding coming out of 11, and as I say that, Charles Kellerman goes round. Yeah, it's easily done again. This is one that we've seen many a time already today. But yeah, in terms of the aims for this race, Arnaud Chagnier, you're in too deep now. You're in the deep end. You've got to anchor down. You've got to try and solidify that place, because if you let one through, everyone's going to try and find a way through now. So yeah, you just got to really be careful. Cover off all your bases. Here's Steve Hefford, maybe looking to the inside. Daniel Hunt as well, trying to follow him through. Inside line for turn number 1 as they ride up the hill. Not quite good enough for Hefford. And oh no, Ralph Collins has been sent round from second place. That is a shame, but there we go. The fight continues. Daniel Hunt, look at him on a resurgence. One race 1, one race 2, 5th in race 3 now. Already up into the mix, onto the podium for race number 4. Inside line, he's trying to make it second place. 2 wide, 2 rows deep in towards turn number 3. Steve Hefford, Miles Owens trying to follow him through as well as they get their way in towards turn number 4. Daniel Hunt, he's on a charge.
Yeah, so Miles Owens has had a better race 4 than he has had for the rest of the evening, of course. He was just in chat saying how rotten luck he's had. Hefford took basically the whole corner there as well. I'm not surprised if he doesn't get some form of slowdown on that one, because he did just completely cut the whole corner out, which he has done, because he has dropped down the field and looks like he's going to lose another position to Griffiths there as well. So unfortunately for Hefford, copped a slowdown of literally missing the whole of the corner. Chagnier still up front. Well, okay, not for long as they go side by side round turn 11. Daniel Hunt, really, Zach, has been kind of almost the driver of the night, hasn't he? He's done an absolute stellar job. He's flown all the way through this evening's racing, and as you say, he took the victory in race 1, and he's just been unstoppable, hasn't he? He's took it in race 2, and now he's leading again.
He's been fantastic, and well, Arnaud Chagnier, it was a matter of if as opposed to a matter of when. Miles Owens following them through straight away. As soon as you lose one, you're going to lose a ton, and now Jamie Ayres looking to the inside. That's Arnaud Chagnier off the podium, side by side, just in the background, John Sylvester versus Tom Griffiths. Griffiths, of course, race 3 winner, trying to move his way up the field, up 7 places so far, and well, he's going to solidify that 7 places gains now on the back of Chagnier, potentially maybe finding a way through in a couple of moments time, potentially no way through in towards turn 3 and 4. But yeah, Daniel Hunt coming into this race 4. Oh well, actually no, well, he's going to send the move straight away. Fantastic stuff from Griffiths there, and well, Chagnier, he's got no defense for that. And that is such a shame. He was doing so well, but as soon as Hunt found a way through, it's just crumbled. Yeah,
the floodgates just seemed to open for Chagnier, didn't they? And that was it, really. He's kind of just, well, as you say, he's dropped all the way down into 5th now. So I suppose from his point of view, it's still a decent finish. He's got sort of Anthony Jacobson down in 10th. So he's got 5 places before he's got to worry about meeting up with another AM. And currently at the moment, he's doing a stellar job. So Griffiths in 4th, Chagnier 5th, Sylvester 6th, Hefford 7th, and then PBG in 8th place as we go 7 minutes 10 left here. Be interested to see whether or not Chagnier can hold on. I think that's going to be the thing on whether or not he's going to fall back into the clutches of PBG, or whether or not he'll stay where he is and try and defend like a trooper from John Sylvester and Steve Hefford.
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to win the AMS. Obviously, it's all one run in total, but you get the statistic. His inside line there, just in behind, trying to move his way up, is Steve Hefford versus John Sylvester, now outside for turn number 2. It's the long way round. He's forced to concede, but Chagnier, it's just going to be extra points if he finishes P5. The way it works, obviously, 60 points for a race win, and that isn't split between the pros and the AMs. If an AM finishes first, they get 60 points. If a pro finishes first, they get 60 points. Then it's just running its way all the way down. We'll come back to that in a sec, because Hefford looking to the outside of Sylvester. If he makes that one work, he's an absolute hero. He's not quite managed to make it work. But yeah, basically, they're not split into 2 different championship standings. It's just Hunt gets 60, and obviously then Chagnier would get the points correlating to P5. But what he is doing is getting himself an AM win next to his statistics on the spreadsheet, as Hannington looks to move his way up ahead as well. But what he's got 5 places ahead of Jacobson, and big contact. Turn 3 and turn 4. It's a minefield. It's a place prone to accidents like that.
Yeah, it was there as well. Darryl Wright, Steve Hansford. Not ideal scenario. Chagnier still got Sylvester tucked up right behind him, mind you. So he's doing a stellar job from his part. Well, saying as I do that, he goes off track and looks like he's just about to lose it. He is. Is he now going to allow Hefford to run round a turn 14? And on that run down into turn 1, I'd be interested to see there as well. Ez here on board with Griffiths. Ez has slowed down. It's allowed Griffiths to come out. It was a bit of a weird break in the middle of the straight.
yeah, I don't know. I've seen it at times where people have just completely broken on the or braked on the race line, I should say, to work their way into a pit lane or something like that. But yeah, never anything like that. So a bit weird, obviously. But well, you live and you learn. You got to move forward. You got to get on with it. And well, there's still a little bit left to go in this race. To be fair, James, I'm sad to see it end. While not only as you say, Rudskogen hasn't been all out rules or anything like that, it's still been a very, very entertaining bit of race action. And honestly, each and every round, it just excites me for next week. I can't wait for next Tuesday already as we look at this fight for 10th. Carl Jacklett trying to move his way up another place.
Yeah, Jacklett's trying to fight with Cullen and Jacobson. Work guide by results, and results clove in with the optical red behind him as well. Mick Barry, just flash below there, battling side by side with Jason Hannington. Are they going to be able to survive this into turn 3 and 4? Mick manages to hold it on. Jason Huntington there as well. And Darryl Wright, of course, 4th place. And the Pro and the AM winner overall in race 3 is now down in 16th place there. Cullinan has just about to swap. There we go, with Anthony Jacobson. And then back up front, Miles Owens and Daniel Hunt. Half a second back as we go into the last 3.5 minutes, gives us about 3 laps.
Yeah, so not long left to go of this evening's racing of action. I'll be honest, considering how quick Hunt's been this evening, Miles Owens is giving him a good old fight for his money. And well, the best lap actually goes the way of the 986 of Owens, a 1:34.04 for Hunt, 1:34.02 going the way of Miles Owens. He's actually putting up a pretty good fight. Obviously, they've got to be careful of Tom Griffiths just in behind because that gap is teetering, flirting on the edge of about a second. So they could very quickly turn into a 3-horse race for the lead once more. But Daniel Hunt, once again, he's got to work for it. And while making mistakes like that, a bit of a Tokyo drift. We're in Norway, not Japan, but he's looking cool while he goes around the circuit anyway. Meanwhile, all it's doing is reeling in Owens and it's reeling in Griffiths along the way. Yeah,
there's going to be a battle for Daniel Hunt to hang on now. He's got half a second to Miles Owens. Griffiths has dropped out to about 1.4. I think that's just the fact that he's just ran wide in the last few corners and has dropped him off a little bit. So it's going to be between Hunt and Owens here. Owens having a lot better race 4 than he did for the rest of the evening, really. He's had a bit of a rotten evening, hasn't he?
Yeah, there's so many people though, let's be honest. Again, we said it earlier, we'll say it again. It's either been you've had a fantastic day, like has been the case with Daniel Hunt, and other times it's not really been the day for other people as well. You know, the likes of Elise May and Samson Toon, who are all out of this race. And well, yeah, it's up and down. It's racing at the end of the day. But I mean, there's so many positives to take for so many different people. The pace has been there. And some positives for us in the commentary booth is the fact that we've had no shortage of action whatsoever into the final couple laps. I think essentially the third to last lap or the penultimate lap coming on now. And well, Daniel Hunt, he's got Miles Owens. Fortunately though, Tom Griffiths has dropped back just a little bit. 2.5 seconds now is the gap between him and the top two. And this late on in the race, that is perfect news for Miles Owens. It means that he's got Daniel Hunt all to himself.
Yeah, now the question is, still going... Can he do anything about it? Coming in through 5, 6 and 7, is he going to be able to physically do anything about Daniel Hunt? I just don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to do it on what we've seen to be a rather tricky circuit to overtake.
It is tricky, and he's going to have to force Hunt's hand some way, somehow. I don't know. Or he's just going to have to get a really good run and force the move himself, force the initiative, send the move to the inside. And I don't know. Again, he just got to be quick in the right places, set himself up, and hope for a miracle. In all fairness, as the white flag will be waved, Barney the flag man will send us off for one more time around Rudskogen for round number 2 of the UkSimracers MX5. Season number 1 of 2023. A bit of a fight further back as well. We've shown so much of the front because it's been so interesting, but this fight for 9th, Jacobson hanging on perfectly from Ralph Cullinan, and as I say that, he's found himself backwards in the wall.
Just as we go on, because they were close. Where's he going now? It looks like he's put the throttle down and gone too far there. That allows Ewan Bramer to battle away with Carl Jacklett on this final lap of the race. That gap's not really coming down up front. I don't know if from Owens' point of view he's kind of settled in to deciding that enough is enough. That's, you know, well, Jacklet runs wide and that allows Bramer to come through. I suppose that's another gain for the Platinum Racing team there, as with Sylvester in 5th and Owens in 2nd, of course. Point consolidation, maybe?
Yeah, you just gotta get what you can get, I suppose, is probably the best way to go about things, especially on the final lap. Anchor down, get as high as you can, or settle potentially. There's Ascent. That is definitely not settling at all from Carl Jacklet. Was, you know, risking everything there going for that move. Brilliantly done, of course. It almost ended in disaster, but when the stakes are this high, you've got to go for moves like that, and especially at a circle like this, you're forced to go for moves like that. And what coming into the final couple of corners are our race leaders. I don't think it's going to go the way of Miles Owens unless Hunt spins out the final corner. It's just to lose.
I think it is. And I don't believe he's going to. I think he's going to come across the line victorious here. Hunt, Owens, Griffiths is your top 3 in the pros. And then in the AMs, you've got Chanonier, Jacobson, and Sirit. So there we go. Is your top 3, but it is Daniel Hunt who finishes off race 4 with your victory. He's taken 3 out of 4 this evening. Almost got, well, I suppose 4 out of 4, but obviously race 3 did not. He got 5th place there, as these guys now finish off coming across the line here this evening. So stellar job for everybody for completing his 4 races. Charles Kellerman battling away with Jason Huntington around the final corner. It's going to be Huntington, I think. I don't think Kellerman's going to be able to get through. So it's going to be Huntington for 16th place. There we go. And then behind that, obviously, Hansford and Barry, last of the runners, coming across the line. So rounding out the evening, though, Zach, how would you put it so far? What would you say about it so far? How would you, you know, if somebody said, was it good racing? What would you put as Rudskogen?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it an 8, maybe 8 or a 9. Again, as I say, it was different racing. It was good racing, and you know, you had to be clever about it. You had to pick your moments well. You had to be patient. You had to capitalize off the mistakes. We also had the carnage, the chaos that came with it. I'm happy. I'm satisfied, and well, here we go. That's how race number 4 rounded up.
Daniel Hunt is in 1st, Miles Owens 2nd, Tom Griffiths 3rd, Jamie Ayres 4th, John Sylvester 5th, PVG in 6th place, Steve Evans 7th, Arnold Chagnon 8th, Iwan Bramer 9th, Carl Jacklet 10th, Ralph Cullen in 11th, Andy Jacobson 12th, Jordan Sirat 13th, Jason Huntington 14th, Charles Kellerman 15th, Darrell Wright 16th, Mick Barry 17th, and Steve Hansford down in 18th place, Andy Littler 19th, Elise Main 20th, Martin Sampson 21st, and so Alan Toon rounds out there as well. But of course, Alan's been in YouTube chat as well. Don't overdo it, young sir. If you don't need to, you don't need to. So just you take it easy, Mr. Toon, and get well soon and finish off. Get 100% there, buddy, as well. Don't forget, guys, if you do like what you see, you can subscribe, turn on the bells, and give the video a big old thumbs up, because that would be absolutely amazing. All of our links are down in the description. Mine, Zach's, JBB's, JBB Leagues, and the Clio Cup, which is now full. So, yeah, unfortunately for that one, the JPB Clio Cup that runs on starting on Monday is now full up as well. So, so where are we going? Zach, you know, what do we think of the season? This is only your first two races. You know, you're kind of new here to this season. We're going on to Brands Hatch Indy next week. Different perspective altogether, isn't it?
I think the obviously I love MX5s and the UkSimracers, some pretty familiar names on the JPBroadcasting YouTube channel. So yeah, it's been a great opportunity to be able to jump in and commentate for this season. I'm really looking forward to it. As you say, Brands Hatch Indy, brilliant circuit. I mean, it's not quite the full GP layout, but it's different kettle of fish in of itself. Obviously, for those that don't know, you come out of Graham Hill, and instead of turning left at Surtees, you just go straight, and then you go right at the final corner. The final corner changes depending on whether it's on the GP or the Indy circuit. I can't quite remember what it is. It's Clark Curve, I think.
It's called for the fun. Yeah, it's called. Basically, you go up, don't you, and then you got McLaren, which is the right-hander. And then it goes into Clark So and then you've got that
Either way,
long run. Yeah. So there we go,
It's a
guys.
great snack.
It's going to be a great evening of races. So join us for that one. Of course, Belle Isle in round 4 as well. But for now, guys, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. And from myself and Zach Sweeney up here in the booth, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.